after the recent Google Core update, why are Reddit and Quora ranking high in SERPs for most searches?
Okay, so that's a good question. Nothing that's out there that says this is why it's happening, but I think what's been going on is Google is really getting way more focused on brands and branding, and getting the users kind of are more interested in other people's opinions nowadays, right? And I think what's been going on, it's sort of the same reason why like Wikipedia shows up a lot for information searches, as well. I think what's going on is it's actually kind of odd because years ago, forum type sites like Reddit is, right, showed up really well back in search. And then Google kind of got away from forums because they felt that they could be manipulated and people were kind of were gaming the system a little bit, and they kind of fell away. And now it appears that, Google going back to user focused, user opinion, reviews, people researching reviews, not just in one place, but multiple places. I think their thought process is, well, I mean, there's a couple of things that people are thinking about, but I'm thinking the thought process is, well, these forum type sites, you have real discussions, real conversations. It's not a company selling their brand or marketing, right? You typically have people calling other people out. It's almost like a social platform, but it's more open. It's not like it's really behind, firewalls. You can't see them or whatnot. So those, I think these forum type sites, these sites with the Q&As or where people can have interaction, is why they're showing up more. You see people interacting more on the social networks where they're asking questions, getting feedback from other people to make decisions. And I think that's a lot of why that is happening right now. Again, who knows what's going to happen, next month, right? With Google and all the AI stuff going on. The other thing that's been coming up. I mean, I know there was a recent leak of some Google documents that kind of talks a little bit about what they do and don't kind of look at. And it confirmed a number of things for me. One, that for the most part, we are doing things that we should be doing properly. It also confirmed for me what I've always thought, that Google lies their faces off sometimes. And they say, oh, we don't do that. We don't use that. And yeah, they do. And just because it makes sense to do it.
What? They would lie?
Yeah, they're lying dogs sometimes. And again, they're trying to protect their algorithm. So there was another thing that came out as well, where Google is now a public company. They make money for shareholders. They're about making money. When they first started, it was this altruistic, do no harm, open the web, give everybody access to information. And now it's, how can we make more money, right? Well, you make more money by having people search more. And so the other thought process, well, maybe by putting all these forum type stuff up, that you're not going to get the answers that you want. You're not going to see the name of the companies or the brands that you're looking for, and that you'll do another search. And by doing another search, now there's another impression of some paid ads, another impression of other things. And then again, maybe another what used to be search generative experience, SGE, now being Google AI overviews, right? The little stuff at the top that kind of comes in different colors and so on. And so it may just be simply a fact of Google wanting you to use their stuff and not the stuff below, because it gives them more value. So again, I don't have any specific, this is why. Google doesn't really say this is why somebody ranks better now than they used to. Or why a particular website tends to get the love and some don't. I mean, there's been plenty of times over the years, I remember when I first moved to the Tampa Bay area, it's almost 20 years now. If you did a search for, new homes near me, or buy a home in Florida, or Tampa home retailer, whatever, you'd get actual realtors websites that showed up. It was all realtors, right? And you can call them, talk to them. And then, again, it's going back a long time now. Then all of a sudden, you don't have the realtors anymore. Now you got Trulia and Zillow and Homes and all these other bigger brands. And I think that's the other part of this, is that Google is really pushing the idea of building your brand. The old ideas of SEO and, put the right keyword in the right place on the right page, get a few links and you're going to rank. It's kind of going away. Google's really going more for put out great content, that really resonates with your users will like it, and they'll let other people know about it, and you become a brand. And by becoming the brand, what we see in general for some of my clients, my agency clients that have been around for a while, that the majority of the searches that they get found for are their company name. And they're getting found more for that because they're doing other stuff besides just doing a keyword ranking or writing some blog content and putting it out there hoping to get, or going out and getting massive amounts of links. And Google's just gotten smarter. So it could be any of those. It could be, hey, they want user experience, kind of going back and forth, people kind of talking to one another and giving information that way. It could be, well, because it's not going to be the greatest, but you can't really rely on that content as being accurate or trustworthy, that you may do another search, which means more impressions, more people staying on Google, which again, well, can potentially build up their own income and their revenue. And it could just be because Google's going more after the branding stuff and want you to be a brand. So I don't have any specific, this is why, but over the years, over the 25 years kind of in this game, having seen things come and go and come back again, that seems the most, those three things are the most likely reasons why we're seeing a lot of this. And I think it goes back, like we used to see a lot of, I think we still do see a lot of Wikipedia, right, showing up when you look for information stuff, right? You see that. We're getting a lot more of the Quoras and the Reddits, because I think it's more about the people interacting, communicating with one another, and discussing things user to user. And I think Google's kind of liking that more and waiting for the brand to get found or searched for, and then showing you there. So.
And then they got into a little bit of trouble with it when they started the AI overview. I'm sure you saw, like, somebody asked how you keep cheese from sliding off your pizza, and it pulled a joke quote from a Reddit post that said you mix in 1/3 non-toxic glue. And that was the answer that it presented.
I heard someone say, like, how often should you eat rocks a week? And Google recommended, or the AI overview recommended, like, you should eat 1 or 2 rocks a day or something like that. I mean, there's all sorts of these things that they just get it wrong. I have no doubt that will improve over time. I have no doubt that will improve over time. It has. I mean, we're seeing ChatGPT doing much, much cooler things in just a year's time than they were a year ago. We've seen them upgrade as well. So I do think we're going to see a lot more of the Google overview AI, the AI overviews. I think they're going to get better. And I think, I'll be honest with you, for the most part, when I've looked at the AI overviews, and primarily I find them on my phone. I don't get them as much on my desktop, but I think that's because I'm in we use for our branded emails, it is a Google account. So it's got a master account, I have a business account. So there's kind of things that they kind of keep away from the business users versus the kind of average user. But I have not run into a AI overview that I thought was wrong, right? It or looked completely out of whack, But I'm not always looking for big, what's the temperature out? What's this? Why did they do this? Why does this happen? What, kind of getting some basic questions and answers, and they tend to be basic stuff. And I have not seen yet personally any kind of ridiculous, outrageous, what the hell are they thinking, kind of screw ups. Although I was just talking this morning with the trainer for the academy, the Search Engine Academy out in Colorado, and he was telling me about a few stories that he'd seen, and I was laughing my ass off. Actually, it's pretty funny. So, but yeah, I mean, it'll get better. It'll get better.